Good morning. Welcome to Sunday live stream worship with First Unitarian Church of Hobart, Indiana. My name is Pete O'Day, and I am a member of our worship committee, and I will be facilitating our service this morning. It is great to be with you again. First Unitarian is, at this moment, in the midst of a search for a settled minister. During this time of transition, during this search for professional long-term leadership, we are a lay-led congregation. As such, each week going forward, we will be blessed with guest speakers. Some Sundays we will hear stories and reflections from members of this church. Some Sundays we will hear teachings from visiting ministers from our own faith tradition, and sometimes ministers from other faith traditions. And occasionally, we will have the great good fortune to welcome visiting lay speakers from the larger community. We have such good fortune today. Aneesah Shealey, a DePaul University student activist, will be sharing her thoughts with us this Sunday as our speaker. Some of you will recall Aneesah from her talk last year, To Be Young, a Woman, and Black. Her homily today is entitled, The Notion of America's Greatness, Unity in Times of Trouble. I will be introducing Aneesah to you again later in the service. Our thanks today, as always, go to our consistently excellent technical crew of James Johnson, John Halstead as moderator, and Valerie Lambert as church admin, who together make our remote worship possible. And again, we are always grateful to our music director, Jeremy Jacobson, for his creativity, his singing, his music, his art. During this service, you at home will be able to share comments, appreciation, and significant milestones in your life during the service just by typing a chat message. This way, we all have a chance to greet our neighbor, share joys and sorrows, and you can generously share your offering via PayPal. By the way, the link to PayPal is located in the video description on your screen. Also, let your Facebook and Twitter friends know that you are attending worship with us at hashtag First Unitarian Church. First Unitarian Hobart. Now take a deep breath and join us in a spirit of reverence as we listen to our prelude by Eric Satie, performed by Jeremy Jacobson. Thank you, Jeremy. Please join me in speaking together our Chalice Lighting words as displayed on your screen. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together. Our opening words will be read by Aneesah Shealey.
Good morning. This quote comes from Angela Davis, an author and an activist, and it is, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept.
Let us now sing together apart our opening hymn, number 157, Step by Step, the Longest March.
Step by step, the longest march can be won, can be won. Many stones can form an arch, singly none, and by turn a mill, singly none, singly none.
Please join me in speaking together our affirmations of faith as displayed on your screen. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament. Service is its prayer. And this is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now, please join us in reading the Doxology from all that
From all who dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill on earth be sung, through every heart and every tongue. Amen.
Let us for a few breaths now practice the wisdom of Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh, who reminds us the best way to take care of the future is to take care of the present moment. As we pause now for a few breaths of quiet reflection, let this be a pause in our lives to recall what is truly sacred: this life, this moment, each other. Aneesah Shealey is a Chicago-based activist, student, and writer. She is currently a junior African and Diaspora Studies major at DePaul University. And she has told me she is so grateful to speak with all of us this morning. It is my honor to introduce to some and to reintroduce to many others of you our speaker today, Aneesah Shealey.
Good morning. As Pete said, I'm so grateful to be here and so thankful for the opportunity. As you know, it's been a time of strife in this country. So I'm just going to talk about that this morning. So I want to talk about greatness. And greatness is a concept that is really difficult to understand. In 2020, we're constantly barraged with a message of "Make America Great Again." However, the greatness that those who spout this rhetoric seek to ascertain is not greatness in earnest. Greatness is not measured in large monuments to warmongers and slaveholders. Greatness is not measured in divisive rhetoric and is certainly not measured in a false sense of ego. To me, greatness is measured in the ways that we interact with each other in order to uplift our greater community. We are not great because we have divided ourselves beyond recognition. In order to seek out true greatness, we must practice two key concepts that have been severely lacking in recent times: justice and love of our fellow man. Last month, we were all horrified to watch the police lynching of George Floyd on national television and on our cell phones. This act of horrific violence shook a nation to its core and exposed the vitriolic evil of American racism to the entire world. Though I am not a mother myself, something in me was struck deeply as he called out for his mother in his last moments. I thought, I do not yet know the pain of bringing a Black boy into this world and losing him because of abject violence. But as I get older, these fears get realer, and these are fears that I would never wish upon another human being. Deep in my spirit, I returned to one thought. If those men were motivated by love of community instead of hatred of Black people, would George Floyd still be here? If America wasn't so cloaked by its own twisted idea of what it means to be a great nation, would countless other acts of violence against Black people suddenly be criticized and treated as a poison to be removed instead of a part of our national pride and joy? In August of 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was being held in a jail in Birmingham, Alabama, for protesting the unjust oppression within the whole of the United States. In his famous letter from a Birmingham jail, King famously stated, "An injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." As we sit in this time of national turmoil, I am reminded of Dr. King's words. As we watch demonstrations in the wake of the deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and countless others, I want to caution you against anger at those who protest. In that same letter, Dr. King points out, in any nonviolent campaign, there are 4 basic steps: collection of the facts to determine whether injustices are alive, negotiation, self-purification, and direct action. We have gone through all of these steps in Birmingham. There can be no gainsaying of the fact that racial injustice engulfs this community. On the basis of them, Negro leaders sought to negotiate with the city fathers, but the political leaders consistently refused to engage in good faith negotiation. Instead of questioning those who protest, these words from Dr. King still ring true in 2020. Now, instead of questioning those who protest, I want you to question the conditions established for our anger. Question these racist forces that have been built against Black bodies. Question those who believe that a nation founded on forced labor and murder is great. And then look for ways to mend the wounds inflicted between communities. Seek unity in every action that you take so that we can best build a world and a nation and a future that is truly great. For if we continue upon the already trodden path, we will never see the end of pain in this great country. We must be proactive and we must be united in order to turn the tides and seek out a brighter and more enlightened America, one that is truly the beacon of hope that we've been led to believe exists. Thank you.
Thank you, Aneesah, for your sharing, for your work in the world and your teaching today. Now is a time for our offering. While the music plays, please consider making a donation. Let us now sing our closing hymn, number 156, O Freedom.
Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my God and be free. No more moaning, no more moaning, no more moaning over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my God and be free. They'll be singing, they'll be singing, they'll be singing over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go
Thank you, Jeremy. Our closing words will be from Aneesah Shealey again.
My closing words come from Malcolm X, and the quote is, "Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today."
Thank you, Aneesah. We will now hear an original piece composed and performed by our own Jeremy Jacobson for our postlude, Firefly. Thank you, Jeremy. Please join me as together we extinguish our chalice, speaking in unison. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.